This is my logic video for Kelly Smith's 102 philosophy. My topic is going to be the fallacy that is polls, and I will be discussing the margin of error, a poll that I did, and then examples of polls and how they are usually wrong. First of all, the margin of error for a poll depends on the amount of people that are being polled. If you have a sample size of 96 and below, it's roughly 11 to 10%. If you have a sample size from about 380 to roughly 1,000, it's going to be about a 5% error. But above 1,000, you have from 3 to 1% error. And in doing so, basically, this means that the more people you poll, the more accurate the poll will be. And as an example, one of the polls that I did was I asked people their GPA, and then asked them on an average week how many hours they spend on social media websites. And I found out that there is no correlation between the two. I found some people with a 3.8 GPA that spent 15 to 20 hours on Facebook a week. But then I found people that had like a 0.9 GPA and only spent like 2 hours a week. And basically, but the reason why this poll was wrong is I didn't take into account their major, because some majors are harder than others, and while I did know some of the people I did ask, I do know their majors, and some of them are business, and they had the higher GPAs than the engineering majors. And this kind of goes with the fact that in polls, you don't really ask for personal details all that much, and by this I mean you ask questions, but there's always some type of question missing. And this deals with part of the fallacy that is polls, is that there is always information missing. An example of this, along with margin of error, would be the presidential polls and asking like the amount of people in the public that like Obama. You always see that like 47% plus or minus 3%. Now that plus or minus 3%, it means that they polled at least 1,000 people, but you give or take 3% from that 47%, so it's between the range of 50 and 44%. Now, the importance of this is the fact that you also have to take into account where the poll was taken, and you need to also count in the like the different views of people, obviously. And probably the most accurate way, the only accurate reading or way to get an accurate reading for that type of poll would be to ask the entire country, which is just, not possible. While on the other hand, that was an example of one of the errors in modern polls. There are some good uses for polls, and they do help get a average overall reading. And this concludes my video on the logical fallacies of polls.